I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for coming to the November 6th Selectmen's meeting. We'll get right after it. Roll call. Joe Bailey here.
John Hutchins here.
John Coyer here. Okay. Going into the signatures, minutes from the Board of Selectmen from 10/23/2017. It's been a while since we've had a meeting.
I'll cover up what we're going to do. Oh, leave it there. Whoops.
There are a copy of those, so I didn't get a chance to see them online.
These?
Well, they're not online.
No, they won't be online until they sign them.
Hey, hon. Big deal.
Like that, have a motion to accept. Gordon, you want us just to write on these things?
Yeah, I forgot to stand it.
I've already read them. I vote to approve the minutes of the last selectmen's meeting dated October 23rd.
Second?
As written.
Second. All in favor?
All right.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda will be the health trust contract.
Your medical is decreasing 8% and the dental's going up 3.2, I believe. That's what I'm looking at. So it's pretty much almost evened out, it's actually a savings. So I just need you to sign the back so I can submit it.
Just for 1 year?
Yep.
Starting
every year.
when?
January 1st.
2018.
Yep. If you look at the Joe has to sign the top as the member, but if you want to look at the rates, they're like right here. There's your dental and your medical.
Any better glasses? What we got done?
Briefly. Oops, I think she's summarized it already.
You need it too. Great job.
This is still out of what used to be called LGC? All right,
No,
local government center?
no, that's an HMA, isn't it?
Okay. All right. Good. Need a motion?
Sure.
Accept the health trust contract for the year 2018.
I second. All in favor?
All right.
Hazardous waste contract in 2019.
Yep. Remember, every year we gotta sign it a year in advance. And you gotta pick whether you wanna do same thing every year.
Anybody know if we have other options? Anybody ever see other waste trucks in town?
No, not in town.
Or in any other nearby town that would do this?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Where's
Menardi.
for this?
Waste management has a contract to pick up our trash.
Is that what that's for? Is that for the hazardous waste day?
That's just hazardous waste day.
So we gotta either check
Oh,
whether
okay,
we're
never
gonna
mind.
That's
participate in theirs or hold our own. So that's what you gotta decide, which we usually participate in theirs,
Right.
Okay.
or we do not wanna do it. So those are your three choices. Normally, we do the first one and you sign it and I send it back for the, that's that 1 day in May, that you can drop
I
off
agree.
paint and all that
Yeah.
other stuff.
That's what I'm gonna go for?
I thought it was the whole contract.
Okay. Well, that's probably coming up pretty quick though. Next year too. All three of us signed, just one.
Just one, I believe.
together.
No, that's right, now I understand what it is.
Re-evaluation agreement.
Okay, this is from when? It's from Avatar. So you have to do the execution of your agreement, and then in here it asked if you wanted a bond. So she researched it because I wasn't sure, I had never done this part before. So she printed out what the bond actually is, and she says that we've never done a bond before. 13 we did not, so 5 years ago we did not do a bond. Because usually if it's Avatar, it's not gonna do, but they usually do what they say they're gonna do, so it's not.
Broke up into 5 equal payments for the
Right.
5 years.
And she's like, for the last 4 they've been doing what's expected, so.
I think we're all right.
I think so. I've never done it. We have no reason to worry about it, so. No one?
Right, I move we accept the revaluation agreement from Avatar as written with no surety bond.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sign it.
Yeah, I have to witness it anyways. Nothing, I'm director. Not worried about it right now.
I don't know if we want it. We probably should skip over this next one and just move on to,
Okay,
Municipal property sale.
paperwork.
no, tax rate.
Tax rate.
Dun dun dun. Okay, so.
Drum roll.
So, the rate is being set if you agree to the, we've added an additional 20,000 in the overlay to make it 40,000 because of the reeval year. According to DRA, they request that you double it in case of abatements. Plus, we have the Fairpoint, thing like we did with the Eversource pole suit that could cost us a little bit. So Avatar and DRA think 40,000 is sufficient, so we did that. So that will make our tax rate for the town $26.95 and the village district $27.86.
And how much is that down?
It's down for the town $9.21 and the village $9.10. And 12 cents of our increase is for that 20 extra thousand of the overlay. So normally the town part only went up 11 cents, school went down 9.52, county went up 8, and the village went up 11.
The county went up what?
8 cents.
Oh, 8 cents, I thought you said.
Nope.
Not bad,
So I
$9.
broke it all. Our fund balance currently, according to this, right here, printed that for you. We had 870,566, and we're using the 150 or 120 that we voted on to use from last year's warrant, so that leaves you 720,566.
How much
Okay.
did the town go down?
The town went down, no, the town went up 20, oh, you want total? 921. And the village went down 910, because they have a 91-cent increase from everybody else. So I stamped the last page if you want to reread it, and I will
So,
send that to DRA tonight.
So in the fund balance, we have just over 725,000, and we always keep a balance of 500, so we have 225,000 available if needed for emergencies.
How does
and
this
such like that.
show up on the tax bills?
What do you mean?
Which tax bills will this show up on?
That's the next bill that we run.
Which is November, December?
Correct. We're hoping to get them out next week.
Once we approve it.
Yeah. If you approve
So-
this tonight, one will be in tomorrow to run the warrant.
Typically, when you pay the bills, it's in two sections, I'll call it the first half and the second half.
Yep.
But typically, the second half is bigger than the first half, because the tax rate is set.
Correct.
This time, it sounds like the second half will be considerably smaller than the first half.
So if you look at it, say your bill is 5,000, and your first bill, you paid 3,000.
Mhm.
So now your second bill's run with the new rate, and say it's only 4,000, you've already paid 3, so it'll be only 1,000 you owe.
Right.
It takes the difference from what you
Okay,
paid
so
on the
it's-
first bill.
Okay.
Pretty good.
That's a reportable figure then?
This one, as soon as they agree, if they sign it, that's the number. Just waiting on you. I saw the number and I double checked the DRA because I go, that can't be right. I thought something was wrong. But I guess according to the paperwork that I have, somewhere it's like almost close to $1 million the school turned back into the fund. So, but their paperwork's a little hard to read, I understand.
But that's why you double checked, and it is a firm number.
Yeah.
Okay, we vote for something, all of a sudden, oh, no, it can't be that much. Well, we can't take it back
I
now.
remember when you were reporting the 3 different times it changed.
Well,
Laura, a while ago, there was a suit filed by the Milton School Board towards the Farmington School Board. I thought it was for $1.5 million, to settle for $500,000. Is that showing up in here?
No.
It's entirely separate. They just,
So have we ever received anything from that?
I get $500,000.
Huh?
Yeah, years ago, when they actually did it.
Well,
It was just cut off our tuition, so you really didn't see anything,
They
because it
took
was
off the
still
tuition.
going there.
Right.
Right, because we didn't pay the tuition, right? I think we were holding the money
Right.
for the tuition and doing that.
I mean, when you pay, 2.6 million, you're not gonna really notice the 500,000 is,
All right, you want a motion?
We all done, John, looking and perusing and?
I move that we accept the tax rate as outlined from the DRA.
I second.
Are we all in favor?
Aye.
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 Nice reportable figure.
At least for this one.
Wow. It's pretty good, significant, so. I think a few people probably will move out now, that we're claiming to. All right, municipal property sale paperwork.
Okay, so this is that Deer Run paperwork, I received all the money
Okay.
from, that gentleman. So I need just for you guys to sign your part, he's already been in and signed all of his, so I have everything except you guys. So this is your sale agreement, so sign where your names are. Clary Hotchkiss Bailey, that's one.
Next to me. We'll witness it.
You're the witness, because you're the third. What's this one?
Laura, there's no way you would particularly know, and Rick, I would not expect you to know.
Do you-
Anything been done on the building?
Has anything been done?
Right,
No, he's waiting for the deed. I literally told him today just to go ahead, because I'm getting the paperwork.
okay.
Then he can start, yeah. He didn't want to cross because he doesn't have any of the paperwork.
We weren't lucky enough for a tree to fall on it.
No. Nope.
I mean, a tree is falling, maybe we could have gotten one that dropped down there.
Okay, that's his. This should be him. So that's it. You guys sign the sale agreement and the deed.
6, 2, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Joe.
Joe, I have a question. When the taxes are not paid for like 3 years, and then the town can take over the property, they have to send out notices to the owner?
Everything that's by certified mail.
What if you
Several
have-
times.
What if you have no addresses or no places to?
Last
okay.
known address,
Yeah.
the best you can
The
do.
last known address being where they used to live, no longer live there.
Mhm.
We sent a certified mail, and the mail was just whatever they do for mail forwarding and whatever. They follow as far as they can do it, and if it doesn't get signed, they send it back, no signed. So,
And then,
we just need it. We've done everything that we can do in our power to find these people, that's all
I
we
just
can do.
wondered if you had to do a second mailing or a second
No.
attempt or.
No, but we don't just, here you go, and like that, we do several 2 or 3 times just to make sure we didn't leave anything unturned, so it doesn't happen that way. So. All right, so we're all set with that. Laptop Microsoft cost.
Okay, so this is interesting. So the 3 laptops that I got from the police department, Armand's been cleaning them out and working on it, but, so the purpose of these is like for the planning board to do email and, or notices and stuff. And for the highway to do email and documents. Well, none of,
That's different than the new one that you have already.
right.
Okay, so.
These are laptops, these are portables. So, but none of them have Microsoft on it, so they can't do email. So they're really useless unless we
Install.
install Microsoft.
Well,
Okay.
I can tell you right now, those laptops were purchased from Best Buy, and I know they came set up with micro.
They must have deleted them when the police,
There was
but
one
there's
person
nothing-
who did it.
but there's nothing now. So in order to get them usable, I mean, I've been working on them for 3 days, cleaning them out, rebooting, they're all changed names and all that. It's gonna cost almost $700. So I don't know what you want me to do.
Let's table it, so we think about it. You mind?
No.
Okay.
If you buy new laptops, you still end up
Well,
having
it's-
to buy Microsoft.
Well,
these
it's
days.
the Microsoft, you're only gonna get probably a year's, you could purchase a year, if you wanted to, you could purchase a year license agreement, which is
The
pretty
problem is,
reasonable, but,
It's every year.
right.
Wait,
Or you can buy a forever, but it's more money,
Well,
so,
this would be a newer mic, because like right now I'm running 10. So
Yeah.
I've been using mine for at least 7 years. So this wouldn't be like every year, it'd be
Right.
good for probably 7 or 8 years, I mean, you figure. But that's, I mean, otherwise they're useless, they're just gonna sit there, so I don't know.
what really speaks to me, those laptops, they are good laptops, they have the solid state drive in it like that. It's not like the normal computer. I mean, they're really, really good computer, a lot of memory on them and stuff like that. But, I mean, apples to apples, have to compare, is it worth doing it? No? Keep them, so.
But you're right, even if we got new ones, we have to install it.
So. All right, we'll table that. I think we need to look at that a little bit more. A certified letter.
Oh, here's the, here's the certified letter from Mr. Terrio, and here it is that he didn't certify, so that's why I know what that is. So there is 2 of the same thing. And I wrote on the front the 15-day thing, if it's business days or if it's calendar days. So you still have plenty of time to schedule a hearing with him.
Well, this is for the hearing for the.
I'm pretty sure it's exactly what this is, but I didn't open it.
I'm gonna buy you a letter opener.
What are like for?
Too lazy.
that's a bit,
I'm too lazy to get my letterman out. May concern, we would like to request a hearing due to the unnecessary hardship, the weight restriction ordinance has placed upon us at 120 Ridge Road. So, Roger, we need to have a planning board meeting from Mr.
Thursday.
Terrio this Thursday. Okay, so,
So you wanna set a meeting for him within your?
He's gonna be here Thursday.
I know, but the board still has to set a meeting with him. Doesn't matter if he makes
This
the planning.
board does, but we're having our regular meeting with
okay,
him.
so I think what we should do is we can have a meeting next Monday, we have one at a regular meeting,
Yeah.
and that will give us time to figure out what's going on with the planning board meeting.
If you do that, literally it has to be the next day, if you do the business, the calendar days. Cause one of them is the 14th.
And
You
go
see
to
what I'm
the planning-
saying?
We're
It
gonna
won't
go to
give
the
you
planning
time.
board first anyways.
I know, but you still have to, you have 15 days to
Exactly.
schedule a meeting.
So if you might as well wait till he goes to the planning board first, because your hands are tied until he goes there anyway. We explained it at the last meeting we were at. And it is with you guys, separate from him, from the planning board. That's what that letter that you just got is to this board of selectmen for that hearing.
But what I'm saying, if they wait and they wait till next Monday, it has to be the next day and there's no time to, it has to be scheduled if you do the 15th.
Now, he's going on, the planning board meets this Thursday, right?
But the board isn't meeting until the 13th. That's what I'm saying. So if they schedule it now, at least you scheduled it within the time frame.
So this is scheduled for the next board, planning,
So the 13th, because I have to send a notice and stuff, yeah, okay.
so, no, okay, yeah, fine. You guys agree with that?
I'm fine.
7:13, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
All right, if there's nothing else under the action items, we'll go into old business, and just for the sake of moving things along, we could go to the salt shed first.
You know?
Okay, Rick?
Well, we don't have a salt shed roof. I don't know if anybody knew that or not. I know John did.
Did it burn down?
Yeah. Unfortunately, no, that's what's still standing. But the roof that's there is junk. It's been off before, it's been put back on and patched and cabled down and everything else, so. I've got some people come and look at it. Everybody I've talked to is wicked busy. I haven't got any numbers at all on the cost of it. I know John had someone looking at it also. I don't know how he made out. I got one other person I'm gonna try to get hold of tomorrow, just to see if we can get a number on it, because I don't even have a number, but, either way, we gotta do something besides the top,
Okay,
at
so
this point.
my question for you, with this rain and stuff like that, it's not productive to have rain on the salt right now.
No, you probably
Sorry,
lost, you lost probably about 15–20% of that salt pile during that rainstorm, I can tell you that, it's settled right down.
Okay.
The top of it's hard as a rock right now anyways, already, so it's not gonna saturate anymore. But, I'm not gonna put any new stuff in there either till we decide, who's gonna do it. It's not a decision of,
So 50 to
When?
20 what it costs, what you think that equals to money roughly,
well, it's
just like that.
it's $55 a ton, so
Maybe what?
you probably lost a couple of grand worth there.
I figured.
But you gotta cover it, one way or another. I mean, you do cover, some places covered it with tops years ago, but to do that's really not feasible to cover with tops. Obviously, you can cover it over with ties and you would go out there and dig 2 feet of snow off it before you can even start doing your road, so. It's gotta be done, I haven't got a number on it yet, but it just, I don't know where you wanna get the money from. I'm looking at maybe just something kind of temporary, get something to hook on there, and maybe plywood it and just, and put maybe a top over the plywood or something, you know what I mean? Rather than go with the full metal at this point. You can build it to that point, just leave the metal off it for now. Rather than go to full-blown deal, because you don't know where you're gonna go with this down here. I can't see putting a whole bunch of money into that on the anticipation that eventually you're gonna be moving. Now, if it's gonna be 10 years down the road, then
We have to do something
you may wanna put that other type salt shed in that we were looking at, that Wolfbro had 2 years back. At this point, I think what we just need to do is get something on there as good as what we had, that's lasted this long, and get us at least through into the spring of next year. We can make a decision on whether we go full metal roof on this, or we do something completely different. But it's one of the things that we have to get it done ASAP. Everybody I've talked to is busy. The closest guy I had so far was the first part of January, so that's really not doable if I can find someone else faster.
So,
Get a seat just for a moment, please. Rick and I have talked about this. I, as emergency management director, he's the highway agent. I made a few phone calls to area contractors, and you're absolutely right. Every one of them has said, be interested, but not right now, right out straight from all the damage from the storm, plus the stuff they're trying to finish up through the summer, okay? So, sitting in the back row is my son, John Zimble, contractor, okay? He has looked at it. I'd be interested if it's allowed to have him talk tonight. Any vote that would be taken, I would recuse myself from the vote. I don't know if we're ready for a vote, but he has some ideas. He's done a lot of measurements, and I haven't discussed price, but if you're interested, this might give us a spot to talk on.
yeah, I would like to entertain it, at least we get a number, an idea of what we're looking at, so. John?
Yeah, my name's John Zimbor. I own Zimbor Carpentry, do this on the side, work full-time at Pratt & Whitney. And I've actually come up with a proposal very similar to what you mentioned, with 2x10 framework, redo all of the roof joists, cover it with plywood, which you have out here, which would save some money on materials, and then put a 16 by 24 industrial commercial type tarp over the top and wrap it with 2x4s, which would last a couple of years, and the truck could always be taken off, either replaced or, you know, upgrade it to metal or, you know, fiberglass, whatever somebody decided to do at a later date.
Right.
So I've come up with a, you know, an estimate for that.
Well, what's the estimate?
4,200.
Start tomorrow or?
How soon can you start? Once?
It's gonna be a beautiful day tomorrow.
I can start this weekend, but
Todd?
I can start this weekend. But all I can promise is that I would have it done by the end of November. Probably sooner than that. But with my vacation schedule and everything else I have going on, that's the best I can do.
It's the best we got. Right now, anybody I've talked to, I haven't got a number and they're all in January, so.
We're kind of, we're at a spot because we're gonna lose that in the salt. He's.
I've got another estimate to put metal on it, but that's more money and I don't think it's really what you need right now. I wouldn't
No.
recommend it.
I think we just, like I said, I think we hold off on the metal, and you said we have the option of pulling that off and putting metal on it
Yeah.
next spring, once we decide which way we're gonna end up going.
I mean, the way that I would put it on there, it would all be secured, the perimeter with deck screws holding
Right.
2x4s around it, so
Right.
it could come off in, a very short amount of time.
Rick, would you be happy with the setup that he'll build without me? Would that be sufficient for you?
That's all we need, just something to get us to spring where we can figure out which way we're gonna go, you know what I mean?
And you're in agreement with everything that he stated?
Yeah.
I've got some sketches if you want to look
Pretty
at them. You can either look at them now or after, it's up to you. How wide is the bucket on the payloader?
5 feet.
Hmm?
5 feet, I believe.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna put corner bracing up. There's a 14-foot wide opening now in the front. And up at the very top, if I put corner bracing up, try to keep it from coming off again.
Yeah, you're just gonna wanna keep those up as tight
Yeah.
as you can.
It would only be, maybe 16 inches down, protruding 16 inches in.
Right,
It really wouldn't take up much real estate in there. And
yeah,
it would do, because I would lag that right into to the poles. And then tie it in with with the framework on the top.
are those gonna be just in the front, or are they gonna be all the way
All the
down?
way, every one. These are gonna be 16 inches on center, top view. I would run 24 footers this way, run 16 footers this way, a little different the way it was before, but it could be anchored right in and lagged into the 2-inch planks on the side, and it could also go right into the poles.
And did you see the cables that go across there?
Yeah, that wouldn't be in the way.
Are those gonna be higher than the cables?
Be about the same height.
Okay,
Yeah, there wouldn't be, because these cross pieces, these 2x10x16s running crossways, would sit on top of the angle cut on the 2-inch planks that are there now. There are 2-inch planks, and then there's plywood that sticks up a little bit higher. I would notch out the plywood and set these all in there, and then tie it all in with perimeter boards after,
so we're not
and then
really
lag it all in.
We're not gonna lose any height,
No.
per se.
No.
Because where the cables are, that's about, when we're pushing the salt up, that's when them cables become
Yeah.
close. So we gotta try to push it up as high as we can. And that's where we gotta watch the cables or anything that would be down below the cables, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we try to get 90 ton in there if we can, that's about all we can get in, we gotta push it in high.
Yeah.
And those things being in the way, and sometimes we even catch that cable once in a while, so. It's all good as long as that the support brackets don't come down any lower than the cables that are in there, I think it'll be fine.
I mean, with the support brackets on the sides, would that be an issue? Only coming in maybe 12 to 16 inches?
No,
Okay.
No.
Because these wouldn't be any lower than the cable, all the 2x10s.
right, and then them braces that are coming down on an angle,
Yeah.
they're not gonna be down much lower than the cable, or about the same height as the cable.
Well, it would be a little bit lower over here, on the side,
Yeah.
but it would only stick in about a foot. But we could talk about that after.
Yeah.
And you could show me, what you actually need.
Right,
And, of course, that can be put, a lot of different ways.
cause it's not a big shed, it's pretty tight
Yeah.
with the machine we got, so.
The idea is to be able to tie this in with the
Exactly, and
planks and the poles.
that's been the problem before, I think.
Yeah.
Is tying stuff together, we put this back on before, so.
Rick, explain for a moment, please, for everyone, well, our supply of plywood.
A what?
Our supply of
Oh,
plywood.
sorry, fine.
Oh, plywood that comes from the old,
Yeah.
that came from the town hall where they.
Town already has plywood,
Right,
okay? There was
Yeah.
a staging from the second floor of
So that's in good shape, that's solid. I saw the tarp over there, and I kinda peeked in at the end, and I saw the ends of the plywood.
Yeah, it all looks in decent shape to me. It was all piled up when we got to it. We moved it out back, so I don't foresee it being anything wrong. They made staging out of it, tore it all apart, and put it back in a pile, so.
It's been inside.
It's been inside that place
Last
all
year.
summer, now it's outside.
Cause it only need 12
And it's
sheets,
topped.
and there's probably at least 30 or 40
Yeah, there's
there.
plenty there, yeah,
We can find 12 good ones, and that'd be all we need.
yeah. So we do get the plywood. And like I said, something, we don't need to get fancy and put the tin all on it now. We can wait and do that later on. We just get something on the top of there to keep the rain and basically the snow going in there, is what I'm looking at. And if we can get it done by the end of November, then that's the best we can do. I'll probably end up mixing some material out of there, but what I'll end up doing is, if I break into that pile, and I have to get more, I'll top the pile itself separately for now until we get the roof on it. I don't know if it's gonna be easier for you to work with that in there or out of there, but we can take it out and top it, or we can leave it right in there, and you can use it for staging the way it is right now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard, so.
I mean, I was gonna throw a tarp on it anyway, so I could run up and down there,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
use it to stand on. It would at least give me a lot of, you know, a place to stand
Exactly.
for the back half.
Yeah,
So I'd say, yeah, for now, if you can, you know, leave it there, that's not gonna be in my way.
I hope I don't need any Friday. We'll see.
So basically, we're in a spot where either we gotta do something now, because the bids, we're not gonna get bids, are we? Do you think we get other bids? And I don't say that because we're supposed to put everything out to bid by law, but if we're in a bad spot, we need to do something now, we don't have any bids available, or the time frame is not good, I think we can make a decision very quick to do this. So, I just wanna make sure that, you know,
I don't think everything has to go out to bid by law either, but
you know,
Because it's an emergency, I make a motion.
that's your discretion, what you put out to bid, and what you don't. It's not no law that says you have to put it out to bid. A lot of places, they get over a certain amount, they put it out to bid.
well,
I make a motion that we accept his proposal as long as Rick is in agreement and they can work together as what Rick wants and they can make changes, but
No, sure.
as far as having the board's approval, you have mine.
okay, well, John can't vote because it's
that's
relative like that, so, and I agree, we need to do it, because that money's be gone in no time short, with more weather jumping in on top of it, so, we need to get done, so. I'll make you make that motion, I'll second.
Yeah, we're not looking for anything long-term, we're looking for one season, 2 seasons, because we have other actions
Yep.
in the future, so as long as you're happy with it, that's fine.
And you made the motion, I second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And when things settle down, FEMA's in the area, so they made it to New Hampshire today, and I'll be one of the ones out there trying to claim. At this point, the only thing really that I can see that's worth claiming is basically if you can get money for that salt shed, the repair of the salt shed, you only need 75% of it anyways, but as far as roads and tree damage and stuff like that, we got it all cleaned up. 90% of it came from out in the woods 100 feet, wasn't in our right of way. A lot of it came from off the other properties, and it was places where there wasn't houses, so it's all been trimmed up and put back on the other side of the walls for now. So anything that was in our right of way is outside of our right of way just a little bit to be picked up at a later date. So as far as claiming, you only had a couple guys at 4 hours of overtime, and you had a loader out there for about 3 hours, and me, I'm on salary, you won't get nothing from me being out there anyway, so I think by the time you did all the paperwork to try to claim for the trees down, you'd spend more money doing the paperwork on this time than you would for the money you're gonna get back, other than if you can get infrastructure damage like that shed. And we'll know all that in the next week or so, and we can go after that money.
Should the board have a copy of the proposal?
Yes.
Should you have at least one copy of the proposal?
As long as you got it, you guys give it the blessing, and I'll work with him as much as we can. We'll,
I would think you'd want a copy just in case we start submitting this to FEMA. I want to make sure there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
copies
You know,
of this
as long as
around.
there's a copy, I can have one, as long as there's one available.
Do you have one with you, then?
Yeah, I've got this right here. I've got 2 copies here. You can either make another copy, or I've got my insurance information as well, so,
Okay,
you know,
good.
we're all covered with that.
Cool. You guys can work together on it,
Yeah.
Go to work.
Me.
Go to work.
and go to work.
Right now? Let's start right now.
We'll leave the light on fire.
So, what about the old roof in the back?
We are gonna tear that apart tomorrow.
Okay.
I gotta get that excavator out of there, I can't get it out of there until I tear that apart, because once the roof blew off, it still wanted to take off. So we had to take the excavator and put the bucket down on it, and it was gonna land in the guy's backyard, and then after it started raining, the sand pile caved down, and it's kinda got the excavator kinda stuck in there right now, but, we're gonna get that out of there tomorrow, we'll tear that apart. And,
Yeah, because I was wondering about that, 'cause look at the excavator's been there for a while.
yeah, it's been
With
there
the sand.
since, about Monday morning, about 2:30. Yeah, that's about how long it's been there. But we're gonna
I've
work on
got
cleaning
a
that up
16-foot construction trailer that I'll need to park someplace over there too, so we can figure out, you know, a good spot for that.
tomorrow. Yep,
And,
we'll find your spot, no problem.
There's a bee in the room.
Is it a bee or a
It's a
stink
bee.
bug?
So you figure you'll be, what, 2 days or weeks? or-
Well, I'm gonna be starting this weekend.
Is that a bee?
I've got vacation time coming up the following week, so I'll be working on it Saturday and Sunday, and then a little bit later on in the week. I mean, I should be done third week in November, but just to be safe, so everybody, you know, understands.
Yeah.
I'm saying end of November just to cover myself.
Sounds good to me. And like I said, everyone else, I've called a lot of people, and they're all saying the same thing. They'd love to be here, but they've taken deposits on other jobs, and so once they do that, they're kind of committed. If they hadn't, one of them would have slid over this way, and one actually was gonna charge, you know, give a big number here, and then try to put off some other stuff, and that's not what it's all about either. I mean, I wanna get it done, but we're not gonna go that route either. So this sounds like it's gonna fit well within what we need, and it's less money than I anticipated it gonna be, to be honest with you, and I'm not a carpenter, but, I mean,
I can go back and look at it again if you want.
it's a pretty good project, I mean,
You
But
said
that's good.
4,100, correct?
42.
Oh.
I heard
Yeah.
32.
Oh, yeah, 32, that's right.
I think the contractors are suffering from a double whammy.
all the work they
They
had.
lost, in Middleton at least, 4 days of no power, so they couldn't be working on the projects like inside someone's house.
Right.
And now they've got even more work from damage from the storm.
Who had no power?
Is that?
Middleton didn't have any power?
Yes, no.
Yeah, I'd say 40 to 50% of Middleton had no power for about 4 days.
I had no
No,
problem.
seriously, where?
The whole backside of Sunrise.
You
Well,
got
yeah, that's
lucky.
the backside of the lake, yeah.
I didn't-
Well, you live on a state road, you get power pretty fast.
Well, I didn't get power at my house until Thursday night, about 5:30.
Well, you don't live on a state road,
State road's out front of it.
but mine doesn't get plowed by
Power's
the
right
town.
there, but I just couldn't
The
get
state
to my
road
house.
goes in front of all of us at some point.
Yeah.
Actually, Roxanne, on Nicola,
Yeah,
which weaves its way in, and then the last part of Nicola runs parallel with the lake.
yep.
Power line lands on a car and burn the car up. There's a new car, it's like a Jeep Cherokee.
When the attacks go on it, we couldn't touch it. Live wires.
Yeah.
You
don't
can spray water on that?
You put bolt cutters or something and just cut them or
You
something?
put it in water, it might trip the breaker somewhere along those
Hey,
lines.
new guy.
Yeah.
Ridge Road was out.
Oh, no kidding.
Drew, Partridge, that whole area, right? That was out.
Up at Kings Highway from the highway garage up.
I was just going,
We had 23 calls that night.
but I do recall the Eversource truck or whatever
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
by my house like sometime in the middle of the night. Because I said, thought we were being abducted by aliens because of a big spotlight, so they must have been looking for where,
4010.
because I'm like,
Okay.
What day did you see this truck? We didn't see him until.
So you'll be
no, this
around,
was
you
the
won't be
night
around
that
till
it
this
happened,
weekend?
so
Right.
whatever night was that?
I might come
Monday
over
night?
at,
Tuesday?
Friday night and start getting my stuff over here, my trailer, but I can talk to you. You got a card?
Liberty.
Not on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you're riding around,
they're gonna be around.
you get
This thing,
23
everybody's
calls.
taking off.
Any trucks?
They're off the rest of the week, Friday's a
No, the
holiday.
first truck I saw was at that.
Saturday's actually a holiday.
Unless it,
Friday.
I don't know if it was an
They-
Eversource truck, it
we
was a truck with a
celebrate the holiday
spotlight
here
because
it's on
I just
all
remember it
Saturday,
flashing
Veterans
into
Day.
like my
Okay,
house and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Is there an outside power outlet on the garage over there?
It must have been
There's
good.
one on the front side of the building,
I'm like,
but I can arrange to get you
I
some
didn't
power.
realize maybe
Right
it
on
was
the,
a
well,
truck.
that side door.
Because my trailer's wired. If I can plug my trailer in, then I can run cords from there to get what I need all around the sawmill.
Yeah, I just have to find where I'm gonna put your trailer. I'll know better after I watch
Here's
the
the
weather for this
ultimate
weekend.
Okay,
If
insult.
there's no snow coming, we can put it
It's
about
Wednesday
anywhere, but
morning.
if it's something I might
Day
be
3
able
is
to
no
solve.
power.
yeah.
I pulled through here about 7 in the morning, this
Um,
10,
So I
I
guess
call
I'll
it
I can talk to you a little bit later, you know,
Eversource trucks.
a couple
Out
days
next
from
to
now.
Rick's building.
Yeah.
make some
Drivers
solid
are out,
arrangements for
they're
it.
in a semicircle. Okay, oh, this is it, we're gonna get up all right. Every one of those trucks
Get
went
your
to
phone
Wolfboro.
number or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Scooted right by Middleton.
You gotta keep a copy for yourself?
I've got one.
Okay.
It's electronic.
Please?
My computer works.
Does?
Yep.
Microsoft.
$230.
All right, we're all done with the salt shed, we can move into the school signs.
My son-in-law out in Washington works.
But
Right, so,
Oh, it does?
I was just gonna say, I don't know whether he keeps the leaves or not, but we've done the leaves.
yeah,
Everything
He's no
changes
big
so
to help
fast.
to us.
Everything changes so much.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Cover,
Hey, I
need to do,
he's
so.
pulling his teeth out,
He's
trying
all
to keep
set.
up.
And when you start, you can just give me, I'm just gonna give you my number, my cell phone number, you got it, John, or
Yeah, I
whatever,
do.
so he can give me a call when he's gonna be there.
Yep.
I don't know,
Yeah,
if
he's
he's
right
there
down
Friday,
there.
I can skip up and meet with him or whatever.
John, nice meeting you.
You're joking.
On my phone, yeah, you're right, I'm gonna turn my phone on.
I can do that, I got everything I need, everything ready, all set.
Okay. You still need this?
Yep. Just give me a call when you think you're gonna be around there, and I'll slide up and meet with you, and we'll figure out where we put your trailer and stuff like that.
Okay.
All right, so let's move into the school signs,
You want me
or
to?
not?
Have you talked to, Jeff Jacobs said he spoke with you? Yeah?
He
No?
came over about 2 weeks ago and he took all the paperwork that goes to the solar panel and the programming and all that. I haven't heard nothing from him since.
So I talked to him today and he says that you were willing to put the poles in for him, is that true? That's what he said to me. I asked him who was putting in the poles.
We said we could give him a hand, and John said he knew something about the poles, but yeah, I'll try to squeeze that in here someplace.
I know you can.
You know, I mean,
I'll be glad to help as well.
So he's hoping like let the rain go and stuff and he'll, because I said they've been sitting now and we paid for them, we need to put them up.
yeah, they're over there in the garage.
He
They're
did
with
go, he went through all the software, so he's gonna show me how to program it. He believes you can do it 2 years out. So I talked to Chief Blodgett, so I know the times and all that, so we just have to get it done. So that's it, just waiting now.
Alright.
But, yeah, if he lets me know, then we can hook it up together, possibly we can get it planned out, but just comes over there and said we're gonna put the signs in today, that's probably not gonna happen.
Okay.
Because we're scheduled out other ways too, on our stuff, plus Mother Nature, as you can see, she rules, and
Little bit.
changes the other way, and the 20's Friday with moisture in the air, what's that tell you, add it up, and we could be out
First
treating
snowfall.
roads Friday, so, all the way down here, not just in the mountain,
Plowable still maybe?
not plowable, but
And it's not the day of it.
that's why you see Sanders in trucks, we're not doing this because we feel like doing it, we're doing it because it could happen, so.
Well, you're just doing a dry run practice,
Yeah.
just to make sure you're
Yeah,
ready.
we're all excited, believe me,
So, you're saying I don't have to put my minute plow on?
I wouldn't bother to do
Minute
that.
out? Okay.
Do you wanna give me like a schedule for him, or do you want me to just have him contact you?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
No,
John.
not tonight, I know that, but I mean,
Right.
like give him some form of something.
Because this, we went back on our 5 8-hour days, but Veterans Day, Saturday, so this Friday we're off
Right.
anyways, and them guys have all put in for vacation days way before now, for Wednesday and Thursday, it's the first day of deer season, and they all go deer hunting. They've done it forever, and I'm pretty much not gonna
You
stop
didn't
them
hear
from
that
doing
they
that.
canceled deer seasons this year?
Yeah, I don't believe so. If they did, they'd known it, so.
I heard that too.
So I'm pretty much the only one gonna be around there, and we'll see what happens. I got a mess to clean up still myself. I gotta grade New Durham Road and stuff like that. We gotta fix a washout on Gary Road. Tomorrow we're gonna dig the excavator out, so we'll get there. And I got some other stuff here too, when you're
Go
ready
for it.
to get to the new business. Jeff Jacobs, I did talk to him, but this is back, a while back. I haven't had a chance to come back here to talk to you. The electrical panel in that highway garage, I think I spoke to you about it, John. You might even been there when the breaker tripped, we were running that saw.
Yes.
That panel, it's only 100 amp service. It probably should have been changed when we redid the wiring in the garage. But once we get into the wiring in the garage, we all know what happened. The price ended up trifolding basically to what we had because we ended up in there with wire. So at that time, to update all of it at the same time would have made it even worse. So he's giving me a price on changing that from 100 amp service to the 200 amp service. I got the paperwork here, and on a whole list of parts that go with it, it's $2,502 to change the panel. And when GAFTEC came in and wired them pumps in there, they kind of gave us that red flag too, that they had all they could do to get their stuff into that box to run them new pumps out there. So that was one of our first indications. Now, when we run that chop saw, we're popping breakers, so that's not good. And again, we haven't committed that 52,000 or whatever it was that we got from, if you want to take some of that from there, you want to merge that with the highway building or whatever you want to do, I believe that's something that you want to pay attention to is to get that fixed before it doesn't trip a breaker and something else happens, you know?
I recall the only requirement for the money is that it has to be spent on something not already appropriated.
Right, and there
We
it
have
is.
not appropriated funds for a new box.
And it probably be funds for your salt shed either, so,
Right.
I mean, there's,
That's the money for both of them.
and you haven't committed it down here yet, because this basically now, I believe, is just gonna be all on hold down here right now, right? We're not gonna get nervous about.
I don't think anybody's gonna be able to do anything down there anyhow, so, not now.
I don't know about that, but I know every day it's clicking on further and further. We're getting into the wrong time of the season to even start on anyway. Once you start on it, then it comes, if it doesn't get done, it comes with inspections that have to be done all winter and reports that have to be done on all winter too. Once we open it up, if it's not finished, it's gonna have to be babysit all winter too, with inspections weekly. Some of them are weekly, some of them monthly. Even though the ground's froze, that's just the way the permit reads. No. That's, that breaker box was one of the things I had on there. We put out 34 cones, we got back 8. So I guess I'm glad I bought 50 last year. I think the power company took them, I think there was, I don't know why, ours are, we actually branded them all, it says right on them, Middleton Highway Department. But I guess that might have been close to M&D, which was McDonald and something else, power company, and they had a detail, they had traffic people with them. I don't know if they thought they set them out there and they took them all with them or not, but we've yet to recover any of them cones, except for the ones on Gary Road. So, we may end up having to buy some more cones eventually, because it took a quick chunk. I mean, the fire department put out, you guys put out a bunch, we didn't get any back on Eclair, nothing off Deer Run, nothing off Pine Ridge. Even my road, I went by, they were there, I come back out, they were gone. Ridge Road, same way. So just, if you see me give me a price for some cones, it's probably to replace the ones that I lost again. I don't know what FEMA will do for you on any of that kind of stuff. That's kind of small stuff for them. And about 2 months ago, you approved us to buy 3 radios for $1,500. But you had radios at the police department that we sent down to have checked. They're pretty much useless. You can't do anything at all with them. And I got them over there, and I guess Chief Block's going to dispose of them eventually. I got them in the office. Since then, we've checked around, we checked them again on a little bit of a lower grade radio, not a lot lower of a grade, but we got it down so that we can get 4 radios now for $1,500, and that would take care of the whole work zone, take care of the guys and the equipment plus your flaggers. So we could get 1 extra radio for the same amount of money you've already allotted us to do. You haven't seen anything on that yet, because we haven't had, we waited for the other radios from the PD to get checked over first to make sure we could use them. And now the word is that we're not gonna be able to, so I'd like to move forward with the original approval that you gave us. We're gonna get an extra radio out of it, so. Okay.
Approved, go for it.
My other thing I got is Ken Anderson's gonna be doing a saw cut on Dudley Hill. You know where he's building that house? He's gonna be doing that Wednesday. They're tapping in the water line over there, and he's gonna pave it back in Thursday. So I'll be over there Wednesday, when he gets ready to fill the ditch back in to make sure we get the compaction all the way to the, when he gets to the base part of it, I mean, you should be able to finish the last couple of inches with the pavement all right in itself. I just wanna make sure he gets it packed under the road, that's what I'm concerned about, so. Just a heads up to you, I've already let the PD know he's gonna be in the street, he's actually asked for a detail, and I think Bill told me he doesn't need one, so. Just to let you know that I do know that he's gonna be there.
Where that is, you could just block all traffic and
Yeah, there's,
go around.
and right there at that intersection, I think he'll be able to, he could actually go right, like, a little bit into Lincoln Road and get around there too,
Yes.
so he'll be all set to get in and out. But he did check with the chief, and the chief pretty much told him that yes, he's all set.
Cool.
Any chance we can convince Jeff Jacobs to do the school signs before your box?
Before what's that?
Before your 200 amp
Oh, I'm
box?
sure that's gonna happen, yeah. Yeah,
Bargaining.
but we gotta get, you know, if we're gonna be involved, we gotta get him out there. You start getting nights and down in the 20s and stuff, we gotta,
Right.
and the one down there by the alpaca farm, that's in the sun all day. This one here, I kind of started to watch it, and I'm not sure it's gonna be in the sun all day. I think it, remember it, he said it has to be 6 or 8 hours of sunlight a day. I'm not sure we're gonna get it here.
Any advantage of moving it up this way more?
If you move it up this way, you're gonna have to move the other one, the other sign that's ahead of it.
Okay.
Right.
The one with the picture of the kids, that would have to come up here somewhere by this
By the
house
church.
right here.
Right.
And then you'd have to have your other sign behind that.
Mhm.
And we were looking at, and we still haven't finished looking at it yet, if you move it down just on the other side of Dixon's driveway, it's the same way, it sits right in the sun. I know it's gonna be 60 inches to the bottom, I just wanna make sure it's not gonna cause a sight distance problem for either one of them getting out of that driveway, either
Right.
Dixon or the Haney's next to them, or even up here at this intersection.
Right.
If I was to move it, I'd like to move it that way a little bit, because you could actually leave one sign and just
Yeah.
move the speed limit 20
Sure.
sign down just a little bit, so.
Right.
That's what we're gonna, it sounds like we're gonna be involved in it anyways, so. That one down by the alpaca farm's fine, it's in the sun all day long, so,
Yeah.
we'll be good on that. It's this one we may have to, and we're still within the regulations of the book. We put the sign, the school property comes all the way up to here, so we're well within the distance
Right.
of what the book says, so.
Okay, good.
But we won't get the panel put in before we get them signed.
That's probably a cold weather job anyway.
Right.
Alright. Good.
Alright, so, highway building bids. We had 7 total, Laura? Yeah, we had 7, because one, yeah. So,
Six.
Six.
You're talking about the site work, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we've narrowed it down and stuff like that, we still have one question like that, we have not made a final decision at this point, so, we're doing a little bit more research coming up until next week, and then by next Monday, we'll have a firm answer on what we're gonna do, so. Alright,
That's all fine with me, that's,
so, I mean,
Got enough other things right now.
that's on my back burner now,
Right.
believe me. Just get ready, get the salt shed fixed and get ready for the next season and deal with this other stuff as it comes along.
I think those bids are to be valid through 2018.
September, yeah.
We're good.
okay, so, that's where we are there. Next thing would be neighborhood ordinance.
I received an email from Christine Maynard that was here a while back about,
Yeah.
she wants an update. and I didn't
Well,
have
basically,
anything.
we've all looked at the ordinance and stuff like that, there's some stuff like that, we wonder, you know, I asked, just discuss, I guess, you know, who's responsible for what and when, so other than that, it's something we could probably do, I can't say next week, but, John, how you saw it and looked at it, whatever, give it to you to read and see what you think.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. We just needed to change some wording on it and we're good to go.
You had some questions on it.
The basis of the ordinance is if a tenant requires numerous police calls, at some point, the landlord, the owner of the property, would start getting involved to the point of being fined for the actions of his tenants. I have some serious concerns about that. To what extent is a landlord responsible for the actions of the tenant. Actually, let's go a little bit further. You have a 25-year-old son living in your house, and he is breaking the law. Who's responsible? He's living in your house. Are you responsible? Are you the parents responsible? Do you get arrested? Do you get a fine?
I
Or,
think you're held liable, you can be held liable.
If you're harboring a criminal, if you're aiding and abetting. If
how about if you observe your neighbor?
If the landlord has a tenant using drugs and the landlord knows about it, they can go to jail just as quickly as the people using the drugs.
Well, I'm not sure that's
If you know
true
about
or
it,
not.
it has
Well,
to be proven.
what happens if you-
but, yeah,
What happens if your neighbor is using drugs and you know about it?
That's a neighbor, that's not, has nothing to do with the ownership.
Well, I guess my point is, where do you draw the line as to who is responsible? I think the ordinance should say that the person causing the disturbance is liable. Okay? If they're the ones that are breaking the law and causing a nuisance, they're the ones that should be held accountable.
I don't remember, 'cause it's been a while since I read it, but I think what happens is numerous calls down there, it is all on the tenant. It's only with, the police can't make something happen because they're not listening, that they drag the landlord into it. And, you know, it's just something to look at. It's come out of Franklin, New Hampshire's ordinance and stuff like that. And it's very sophisticated, so it's a big deal, there's a lot into it. So we probably have to go and relook at it, and then we're gonna have to reword it, obviously. So, I mean, it's not gonna be there to fit here. I mean, they're 3 times and 4 times bigger than we are, so it may be a different situation, so. It's just that, no, there's something that's already out there that we can plagiarize, for the record.
Just
So,
for the records, most of you know that I own several properties in town. Long before it ever gets to the point of the police making numerous calls to any one of my houses, I evict the person. Long before the police ever get involved with, you know, a visit once a week to the place.
Well,
They're gone.
that's the point, John, is
Right.
it's the landlord, is what responsibility are they taking, where you're
Well-
gonna get rid of somebody before it becomes an issue,
Right.
whereas this other person,
I mean,
You know,
so don't take that initiative.
Right, that's my standard.
so,
I don't know, but it's
Where some
supposed
of
to be the law.
them sit around there saying, I have money still coming in, the heck with it."
right,
That's right.
You know,
It's
until
all
the
get-
police make an appearance to the landlord and say, hey, do something,
Well,
or we'll take care of you.
I think
Anyway,
that's the.
that's my opinion on it.
No, I mean, this is a work in progress, we have to make it fit so it's right,
Right.
and fair to everybody, so, you know, so. But we do have to do something, unfortunately.
Table it until next week.
Yeah, so we can table it until next week, we'll all have to go through it one more time, so. All right. That's all the old business, any new business? Chief?
I've seen some budget determined, but I'd like to talk to you guys afterwards about purchasing the equipment.
Yeah, we had to do that, we have it on public, so.
Can I talk to you just before that, or?
Yeah. So if you want private or talk about it now, you want to, it's up to you.
No, it doesn't matter.
Let's do it now.
A couple of things we're looking at purchasing. I've got money in all the budgets to purchase a new radio. The radio the portable that I've got, it's on its last legs. So I've got a price from Two-Way Communication about getting another one. They're $4,500 a piece. That's the best one.
Where are you getting your radios from?
He's
Yeah.
getting the radios like you got through the
Right.
FEMA grant
Yeah,
years
these are
ago.
not this, these are
Digital,
digital,
Like the ones
so,
I use,
yeah.
okay,
So we can talk to PD and,
the rest of the state.
correct, and it's this, no matter where I go, it's gonna be the same price on it.
that's actually down about $1,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
About 5,500, I think, when we got
Yeah.
them from that grant.
but he's right.
You put that in for next year's budget?
No,
Are you
I've got
putting
enough
up
in
now,
this.
you
I've
have
got
enough now
in this year's budget out of the radio
to buy one?
to buy one.
You know, in the budget, it's part of your maintenance program, I mean, you gotta get it, so.
Looking at, there's one of the scene lights on the rescue is out. So we're looking at trying to replace that one, because they don't sell just the heads anymore. Just the bulbs, the whole head. They make an LED head for it, they're about $1,200.
And this light doesn't work at all.
No. If it's possible, I'd like to get some bunker gear for Griffin. He's one of the ones that's been doing a lot of our training. And I guess he was told when he graduated one of the levels of firefighters that he was supposed to get some new gear. And the gear that he currently has doesn't fit.
And we have nothing available to be reused.
He's a big boy.
How much?
I gotta price it out, but set of gear is about $3,000.
You don't have that in your budget,
Like I said,
do you? No, I mean, your budget's there to use, I mean,
so I'm just, well, I wanna come to you guys with it, so.
no, I mean,
The expenses should let us know.
right,
Absolutely.
exactly, I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
we're gonna say no, but just let us know we have a heads up, you're spending the money, but as long as you stay in your budget, that's what it's for. So,
That's what I'm just letting you guys know,
appreciate that,
that's,
so.
anything over like 250, that's where I start getting a little hinky.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, it's easier to come in here and ask you than it is rather go through the, because she can fill out the PO paperwork for us and we gotta wait another week.
Right.
So I think if he does, that's what I do, I come in here and it just kinda speeds it up a little bit, you know?
And you guys know what we're doing, any questions that
Right.
need to be asked.
You gotta do it, no, we gotta keep functioning.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just costs money to do that, so.
And do you want the budgets for next year?
So that's yours.
That's, so one pile is fire, the other one is EMS.
Put that in your spreadsheet, right, Laura?
I will.
Right.
So,
So, you good?
Yep.
Alright, cool. Alright, anything else under new business? Oh, Roger, I'm sorry. I knew you were here for a reason.
Yeah,
You know, how could I miss you?
huh? Yeah, hard to miss. Thursday, 1 o'clock, that gentleman will be here. Okay, he apologized very much for not being here last week, but the governor sent him out of town that same day that he was supposed to come here.
Well, that's important.
Yeah, you know, that's his boss.
Doesn't
on the cell tower, right?
Doesn't that governor know that this is Middleton?
He was gonna try to make it back, he was gonna try to make it about 4 o'clock, and I said, nah, he was at the airport getting the bus, said just, we'll make it next week, so.
So it's rescheduled for this Thursday?
This Thursday at 1 o'clock, okay? I gotta get your telephone number if you're gonna call him, so I
Yeah.
can give you the numbers, that's why I didn't call you,
Yep.
because I found out. So I'll get your telephone number before we leave tonight. Joe, you've been brushing up on your rural residential, commercial stuff?
Of course I have.
Okay, well, I've been through that book for 2 weeks, so we'll be ready for Thursday night. Everybody else should be, my team should be ready for Thursday night. And the last thing was brought up to me by John Mamone. He is questioning, did we at one time have a list in town where we checked on elderly when there was a situation like we had with the electricity being out? Is there any kind of list that we had? If there is, one, I don't know, maybe we gotta make sure that some people are on that ain't on it, because he was concerned about one individual, I'm not gonna bring her name up, but, that was, if we're doing welfare checks during those
Is
periods.
it the one that we work with a lot?
No, she is
That one
just,
was checked.
She is just fine with somebody else altogether.
Normally, the list was only for the oxygen people, am I right? Usually the ones that had HOMO too, and right now I don't believe we have any.
You don't have a list at all?
It's usually was the ones that had the home oxygen.
Yeah, I know I'm on that because I have home oxygen and stuff like that, but,
There's no list now.
but I was out of time anyway, so it didn't make, I was dying out of time. But with you guys, but you were there anyway, so it didn't make any difference. You were checking on me anyway.
That's right.
So, but, no, that was the question on the elderly in town, so. I guess what we gotta do is tell the elderly to start getting the list back out for the fire department, the police department, that we need to do this. But that's the only couple things like that.
You have to say they're in service, and that's the only way you're gonna know, is if they let us know. I know during the ice storm '98, we were out of power for 9 days,
Yeah.
and we did check on a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, the ice storm after that, the one that we've had recently, we went door to door.
Right, I
Yeah.
remember
We
that
went
too.
door to door the entire
Yeah.
day, we
Yeah.
checked on everybody.
Yeah, yeah, so I'll just let you know, John asked me to ask you, I'm just gonna let you know there's no
Will you
list.
let me know later who that person is so I can make sure?
Yes, later,
Okay.
okay?
And we get her on the list at least.
Yeah,
I know I checked on a couple that were just in my,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, and I know you probably checked on Bart,
It'll be nice to have a list of, because if you're not around or somebody else not around, we have a list that we can, that other people can take care of it. so.
emergency management, you
Right.
have some, have part of it too, on the list. The three,
You know, I had a list from Sobel.
yeah, the three places should have a list
Had
that way,
before,
they can get it up, but I'm just bringing that up. So, that's it, so I'll see you Thursday night,
Thursday at 1.
huh?
Thursday at 1.
I won't be here at 1 o'clock, because I'm gonna be in the middle of the call.
Yeah, well-
My schedule is good for a month, so,
Okay,
but,
but I will see you Thursday night.
yeah, Thursday night, you'll see me.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping I had something else, but I guess no.
You can try to push it
I'll
up.
try to be here Thursday at 1.
You'll be here Thursday
I'll
at
do
one,
my
you
best to
think
be
you can
here.
make it?
I'll be here.
Okay, I was letting you know you might be able to make it or not.
I might, I'm not sure, we'll see.
All right,
Um,
would you let Chief know downstairs that 1 o'clock that day? I know Joanne and Tony is gonna be there because I've already filled them in, so. And the chief won't be there, but, I'm gonna get his number and give him a holler, let him know so he can call that gentleman, Mr. Stevens, okay?
Very cool.
For anybody who wants to know what's going on, maybe you know, right now we have a contact in the state. Verizon sent us a letter back saying, don't call us, we'll call you on the tower. But in the interim, she put down that there's a state program going on that I think the federal government is sponsoring to put up, I don't know what, all what I know is about emergency communications. And this gentleman in the governor's council up there is the one who is handling that. So he's gonna be here on Thursday to kind of fill us in on it. We are probably the first ones on the ground floor to get involved in this thing. So if it is to do anything with the towers, because I think there might be towers going up, AT&T and another company right now are bidding for this thing. And the governor has till December the 10th to make a decision on which one he wants to use. So, the more information we find out Thursday, we will pass that along, but we are still working on the towers and we are moving forward. So hopefully, we'll know a lot more. Okay?
Getting back to this list,
Yes.
have we, who's gonna update or provide or set up?
What list?
The old people,
The old people?
Yeah.
You'll probably just have to put it there in
Catch
the
and catch
paper, and
gun.
we'll have to spread it out, hey,
Right.
you need to be on, you know, you need some kind of care. That's what they did to me, because they knew I was on oxygen. Said, hey, you should be on this list that we got up here, you know, so,
Is that something you can put in the tax bill now? I don't
It's getting
know.
sicker as they.
I know, I'm just
I was
throwing
going
it
from a
out.
tax bill to a packet.
Normally though, Eversource, does Eversource know? Because sometimes they'll tell us if there's
Oh,
a home that has homeowner too, because I know they did to the lady that lived on New Durham Road.
Yeah, no, this lady does not have a thing
What
like
do I
that.
mean for you? Like if
For me,
Eversource
yes,
knows,
Yes,
then
yes,
they'll.
I have a sign up in the thing, so, don't smoke, he's alleviated.
You know what I mean? The light company will actually note that in your account, and so they'll reach out to us if it's been more than so many days and say, hey, guess what?
Well, they
Have you
also
checked on
know
so and so?
The town also knows now I have a generator, so we,
See, I didn't know you were on.
Yeah, we-
See?
kinda cleared all that up, I think, with you and.
So next time the power's out, Roger's place is available.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just,
It would be good, it would be good to know who.
yeah,
Does anybody have specific wording written up for a notice like that that I could put into the newspaper?
No, I don't think we do, but, I mean, it wouldn't hurt for somebody to do something like that.
Yeah.
Just alert.
contact Laura.
Yeah, I mean, just,
And the elderly
yeah, all I gotta do
people-
is write a name down. I mean,
It's
it's
just-
not like hard. I probably know most of them.
It's kind of a,
If you know
trying to be
of the
very, trying to be
elderly or
If you would like to be, or know an elderly person that would like to be, put
checked
the
on
list.
during storms or
Oh,
weather-related
yeah.
incidences, you know, you can call and have them put on a list.
yeah, put on a list, yeah.
Simple.
And who better than get a hold of you to put them on the list, right?
I have plenty of time.
Sure,
I'm gonna be hanging signs out by the post
And
today.
help us out there with
We
that
got
too,
much
right?
time in hands, we got some more projects.
I
for
got it. I'm gonna be putting in the school signs, I think, Friday.
I heard that,
Posts, cementing them in.
I heard that.
Wow.
It'll be
I
up
second. Well, you, yeah. All
That's
in
okay, 'cause
favor?
I know where to get my help from.
Oh my God.
If you are
Quick,
Friday.
quick
I'll
advice,
be
man.
here.
All right, anything else on the new business from anybody?
The only thing I got is just, I'd like to thank the fire chief and his department, for being out there during that storm, and Officer McNeil and Burt. I think that was, when they brought back flashbacks from building the ice storms and stuff, because we've been through those before together, and it was pretty well organized. And everyone stayed as safe as they could be. We had a close call on Pinkham Road where a couple guys almost got it. One drove under the truck and one ran down the road, and the tree came between them and the truck. And at that point, went into a different mode. We just jumped in equipment and we'll move stuff with equipment, nobody else out of the truck. And that brings me to the on-call. We had the on-call set up, now you're on your winter on-call setup, so everybody's on call anyways. But during the summertime, you got one guy that's on call. I'm gonna change that up a little bit. When we get a call, when that one guy gets a call with an event like that, I wanna change that policy so he automatically calls the next guy that's on call, or the guy that was previously on call, so I don't just have one man out here by himself.
Right, it's an whole.
We were lucky that the officers were able to kind of stay there. But if you roll up on the scene and that officer has to go someplace else, and I got a guy standing there by himself with a chainsaw at 2:30 in the morning, pouring rain with the wind blowing, so we got fortunate, that's all I'm gonna say, and I wanna make sure that we have that covered next time, and Bill knows we learn something through every one of these events, and that's something right there that's a loophole I wanna fix, and I'm sure you'll bless me with that, so.
I mean, I know when I was working in the propane business and stuff like that, my guy drivers and my technicians, we always had the main guy, then we had a backup guy, and then whatever. And same way, that's what you're saying, it's just you have redundancy, you need to have it, just because, like you said, when things happen, you can't do it all yourself.
Not every call's gonna require it, but, whether the guy is on call, he'll have that option of knowing if he thinks he needs to have someone, then he's gonna be allowed to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that was just, that night was crazy.
Yes.
You could hear stuff crashing down all around you, so if you got a guy out there by himself,
Yeah.
that's not good.
Yeah, I just wanna reiterate what Rick said, highway department did an awesome job, police department,
Yeah, it was,
Officer Officer
full,
McNeil,
yeah.
all,
I mean, they actually
all your
moved as
guys.
much wood out of the road, I think McNeil and Bert moved as much wood out of the road as we did. We were moving the bigger stuff, but they were moving stuff, so we didn't have to mess with everything. They had a lot of stuff they moved themselves. I was kinda amazed at some of the stuff they did move, but adrenaline and the wind blowing 60 miles an hour will make you move stuff in a hurry, I think, so. 'Cause they moved some stuff. Now, it's
23
surprised.
calls, it was a long night.
I know I was guiding one end of the tree down on Ridge Road, park my truck so I could get a good view of people coming in. It wasn't until it started to get light that I realized my truck was right underneath the power line, going to the house. Probably not a good place to park.
Yeah.
Uh,
At least it didn't have 20D plates on it.
That's right.
All right, if there's nothing else, we need to go into a non-public meeting, part of the meeting, so, we're gonna adjourn from this at, 7:44. Is that clock right?
Yes.
Okay, 7:44, going to non-public pursuant to RSA 91.
Hold on a minute. Good, I get rid of it.
Subparagraph C.
I'll second.
Aye.